Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel for Stymie's Hope. My name's Laura. I'm going to do a monthly wrap-up video today because I really like watching other people's wrap-up videos for the month. So I'm going to talk through just some highlights of things that happened this month. I'm going to go into like TVs and books and things like that, new decks that I've bought, and then the decks I've worked with this year. Not this year, this month. The decks I've worked with this month, and show you the cards. So I'm going to start with the highlights. So I guess the biggest highlight this month was starting this YouTube channel. I've been really enjoying making kind of longer videos than you can really on Instagram, which is where I'd currently had, or mostly had, all of my content before. So I've really enjoyed this and I'm going to keep it going. I've enjoyed doing different things than on Instagram. On Instagram I tend to just kind of do like daily cards, and I do challenges every month, which I really like. And I kind of do some practice collective reading type card pulls, but I like kind of doing the VRs on here and kind of just going through my practice in a little bit more detail and things that I actually do. So I'm going to keep both of those going. And then another highlight was that I did a meetup on Zoom with the Tarot Method, who I follow on Instagram. She does various kind of courses, which I have also done a couple of those before, like paid ones, but she does a free monthly meetup via Zoom and via the app Meetup, and I've been doing that, and that was really good. And I used my Tarot to Colour Tides deck because that was the deck I was using a lot last month, which you'll know if you've seen my video where I did a test drive with that deck. So they're the main kind of highlights, and just the fact that it's becoming summer. Getting more summery weather, which is nice. End of spring, beginning of summer. I like that kind of weather where it's sunny, but it's not too hot. In the middle of the summer I get far too hot. So I've been to the beach a few times. So they're my highlights. TV, I haven't really watched a lot of new stuff. I've been rewatching The X-Files, so that's been most of my TV watching, to be honest. I did also start a series on Disney Plus called Not Dead Yet. It has Gina Rodriguez in it, and I've been enjoying that. I've only watched a few episodes though, so I can't really do a full, like, what I really think, but I'm enjoying it. It's just fun, something fun to watch. And I've also been watching the new series of Queer Eye on Netflix, which I love. I'm not a big fan of reality TV generally, but I do like Queer Eye and I like The Great British Bake Off. They're kind of my reality shows. Books. I've actually got one to show you. So I bought this book this month, and I'm looking forward to kind of getting stuck into it. I've started it, but I got this. So it's called Tarot Therapy, Harness the Healing Power of the Deck. This is kind of how I use tarot. So this is going to be really helpful to my practice. I haven't gone through a lot of it so far, but let's look at the contents. So it starts with explaining what the term tarot therapy is, and then she goes into different sections based on kind of themes. We've got love, and then different cards that relate to that: purpose, healing, change, truth, which is the tarot therapy section. And then over here we've got the new world of tarot, so then there's hope, intuition and creativity, and it's using the cards, using the tarot system as a way to a kind of healing, so kind of like therapy in a way, and that's what I use it for. So there's like pictures, there's spaces to write notes at the end of each chapter, so it's like a reflection page. And then what else at the end? There was some other stuff, I think. Oh no, maybe that was it. So it just goes through all of those, and at the end of each chapter there's a reflection page. But it seems to be really detailed and how I would like to use it, and it gives you kind of tasks and activities that you can do throughout. Oh, there's a little mini glossary here of keywords for all of the cards by Mr. Page. Yeah, court cards and the minors. One for the majors. But yeah, and then a little bit about the author at the end. So I haven't really done too much with this yet, but I am looking forward to getting stuck into this in June, really. Right. That was Tarot Therapy. I've started listening to Mythos on Audible, which is by Stephen Fry, because I'm getting into Greek mythology again, or Greek and Roman. I used to really like Greek mythology when I was younger, so I just want to kind of read through the stories again. I'm not sure if I like the way that the book is being read. I think I just want a book that has the stories, just has the stories written out. But it's okay so far, and I do like listening to Stephen Fry narrating books, so I'll keep going with that. Oh yeah, before I get onto new decks, I wanted to just go show you what I've been making. So I suppose there's like a hobbies section in here as well now. So I like crafty things, and what I did this month is I made some tarot tiles. Now I've just got it in this bag that I got free with a Rider-Waite deck. I want to make a bag for it to go in, but I haven't got that far yet. But yeah, I made some tarot tiles. So I've got some selenite in here. I'll just put a few out to start with and show you. So yeah, I made these tarot tiles. They are just the Rider-Waite, oh look, the star, which is my favourite. I bought a mini PDF deck on Etsy, which also had the backs, which I really like, kind of this vintage style. They've kind of been made to look like they're a bit worn, which I liked, and the vintage kind of floral on the back. And I cut the tiles myself. I have access to a laser cutter, so I laser cut some tiles. I stuck them on. These are just paper. Stuck these on, and then I used matte finish Mod Podge to put over the top to seal them, so that the paper won't come off. Yeah, and I haven't really worked out how I'm going to use them yet. I don't know whether to. I'm going to play with them this month, so I don't know whether to kind of shake the bag up and then feel which tiles I want, and then that's my reading. So I don't know whether to do it like that and then read the reading that way, or whether I want to like pull a handful out and then like throw them on the table, and then the ones that are upright are the ones that are my reading. So yeah, I haven't decided how I'm going to do it yet. I'm going to play around with it this month, but I just think they're really cute. I really like, I use this frosted pink. You can't really see a lot of the tile in fairness, but it's frosted pink acrylic, and then this kind of vintage looking version of the deck and the backs. So I just think they're really nice. I really like them. I'd posted some pictures about them on Instagram, and the comments I was receiving on there were that they really liked them. They thought they were really cool and really cute. So yeah, we'll see. I'm going to play with them this month, so you might see them a bit more on here. So that's my tarot tiles that needs a new bag. Right, now we're on to new decks. So I'm in the low buy year this year, and I haven't really bought any decks. I think I might have bought 1 or 2 back in January, but I haven't bought any other decks since then. But I bought 3 this month. So yeah, I've bought 3 decks in my low buy year in 1 month. So I started off, the first one I got was the Enchanted Tarot. I've got rid of the box already. Well, I've put it in storage, but it was this one, the Amy Zerner and Monty Farber one. It's the really huge one. So this is the book. I really like the book. I like how it's set up. So you've got a keyword, you've got a bit about the artwork and kind of what it means. Then this is kind of like your reading, and then the enchantment part is kind of like an activity you can do with the cards. And then there's the quick readings here, so you can have a quick reading if you don't want to read through all of that every time. This would be quite good for beginners to just kind of start with. So yeah, so the Enchanted Tarot, it is huge. I haven't really worked out how to shuffle it properly yet, but I really like it because it's textile. It's kind of like collage made with fabrics and textiles, and well, if you know me, you'll know why that's important to me. I love textiles and fabrics. I've worked with textiles and fabrics my whole life, really, and for my career until recently. So yeah, it is huge though. I mean, this is my hands. Have I got a standard tarot? Yes, I've got a Llewellyn card here. They're huge. They are absolutely massive, but I really like them, and I feel like they need to be this big to see all of the detail. Like, there is so much detail in these cards that if they were smaller, I don't think it would be the same. There is a smaller version of this actually. I think it is called the Zerner Farber deck, but it's the same artwork. It's just on smaller cards. It doesn't have all the borders, and it's kind of cut off a bit of the side. It's cut off these borders as well, so it's like this middle section. But I don't really tend to like borders, but I do like these ones. I feel like it's like a tapestry with the board around it, and so I do like it. But it is huge, like huge. I cannot shuffle it. Like, I can't get my hands around it to shuffle it. I would never be able to riffle shuffle this. I can't get my hands around it. I can sort of riffle shuffle it this way. I can't bridge it, and I can do it at the corners, which is how I've been doing it mostly. And then you have to push them together again. Or I just overhand it this way, but it is quite awkward, and I drop all the cards all the time. But yeah, but I do really like it, so I was just gonna go through a few of the cards. I don't really like the backs. I don't dislike the pattern necessarily, it's the fact they don't really go. It doesn't really go. I like the different colours. The different coloured borders are for the suits. So when you lay out a spread, you can kind of see, oh, I've got a lot of cups, or I've got a lot of swords. So the swords are blue. What was it? The majors are purple. The pentacles, no, the wands are yellowy, orangey colour. Swords are blue. The pentacles are green. And the cups, which are called the hearts, are pink. Yeah, so I'll just go through some of these. But I haven't really worked with this a lot yet because I was waiting for June. I'm going to be using this in June. It does follow Rider-Waite-Smith, but not all of the cards. Like, it's not instantly recognisable. Some of the cards aren't exactly the same. but it does follow the system. And there's King of Wands. I like the heart suit. It's called Devil Guard. But yeah, so this is the Enchanted Tarot. I appreciate the effort that went into this. Like, to make these kind of all this applique with all the different bits of fabric, and then collage, kind of, yeah, it's just amazing the amount of effort that this must have taken. And it's a really old deck. It's really old. I think it's nearly as old as me. I think it came out in 1990 or 1992. I was born in 87. So yeah, it's like, I think it's had a 30th edition. The one I've got is the 25th anniversary edition, and this came out like 2017, I think. So I think it's over 30 years old now. So it's a really old deck, but it's new to me. I love this moon. And I'm really excited to start working with it. I did put off, I'd seen this kind of early on in my tarot journey, and I was like, I like that it's textiles, but it's not really, I don't think it's really for me. It's too busy. But I think I saw someone do some work with it on YouTube or a flip through or something. And I was like, you know what? I do actually really want to give it a go. And then as soon as I got it, it just feels really special. It just feels special. This Queen of Pentacles is cool as well. I like her. So yeah, so I'm looking forward to working with it, playing with it. I think I might do one of my tarot deep dives on it at some point. It won't be for June because I've already decided what I'm doing for that. But yeah, I think I'm going to do it at some point because it just feels special. So that's the Enchanted Tarot. Let me just put this back in here. So I've got a crystal in here, that was what that knocking was. So that's the Enchanted Tarot. Let me just move that out of the way. Whoops, knocked the camera. Right, so the next deck is the Darkwood, which I just showed you as a comparison a minute ago. I'm not going to keep it in this bag. This is just temporary because I didn't want the box. It's one of those massive Llewellyn boxes and they just take up too much space on my shelf. So I'm going to make a bag for it, but I haven't yet. So this is a temporary bag that I crocheted. I'm going to make one either in this green or just black. I have edged it in black already as part of my bonding with the deck process. This is the one I'm going to use for my tarot test drive this month. And I have already filmed the intro part of the video before I edged it. So I've now edged it as well in black. I wanted a deck that was specifically, like the guidebook was specifically written for shadow work. I've got decks that I use for shadow work, but I wanted one where the book was specifically written for that reason. And I love Abigail Larson's artwork, so I've gone with this. And so far, I mean, I've only had it a couple of weeks and I've been using it constantly and I love it. I feel like I can use it not just for shadow worky stuff as well. So it's the Darkwood Tarot. I've got reversals in it. I have been using it already quite a bit, so it's got reversals in it. I just really like the whole concept. It kind of tells a story throughout the major arcana of the Shadow Witch, and you follow her through the Dark Wood. I like this Two of Swords. I like how it's almost feels like you could read it either way up. It's very just based on the Rider-Waite-Smith, so I find it easy to read. I do like decks. I think I mentioned it in one of my other videos. I do really like decks that are based on Rider-Waite-Smith. I know some people don't really like that, but I do. So that doesn't bother me at all. I really like this judgment card. And it's been really fun kind of going through and reading the meanings for this deck in the guidebook, because they have a little story that goes along with each card, as well as the meaning, and it is kind of, well, it is based on shadow work. It's been written for shadow work. So this is an interesting 8 of Cups with the snake. So yeah, so that's, and I like that it kind of feels earthy. It's in a wood, so wood. Queen of Wands, important card for me at the moment. I love this one. I like all the characters in it. There's quite a lot of animals in it, but not just animals. I find it really difficult to work with just animal decks. I need there to be people in, but I like it when there are some animals in as well. And I love the pentacles. Let me just go back. I love how the pentacles are apple slices. I really like that. So yeah, oh, and I love horses. I love these horses. How Abigail Lawson draws horses. I think I might have mentioned this in my intro video, so I might be repeating myself, but I just love the horses. And I love this 2 of Cups as a shadowy 2 of Cups. But yeah, I really like this Sun card as well. Oh, and I really like the Queen of Pentacles. I think I've mentioned all of these in the beginning part of my work with it, so I'm not going to keep going over them. The Star's my favourite. But yeah, so I'm really excited to be working with this. Well, I already have been. I really like the 9 of Pentacles as well. And you'll be seeing a lot more of it because I'm going to do a video just for this deck. I've already filmed, like I say, the introduction for the tarot test drive with this deck. And I think I might have already filmed, I've already filmed something else as well, one of my first things with it. I can't remember what it was now. But yeah, and I'm going to film some more today probably as well, another part of it. So yeah, you'll see this in my, at the end of, or during June sometime when I upload that video. So it's the Darkwood Tarot. And then I've got one more. And again, if you follow me on Instagram as well, you'll have already seen this. But it's the Magic Morsels Oracle deck. This is an indie Oracle deck by Lady Moon Co. on Instagram. And you can get it from her Etsy page, which is Lady Moon Company. And if you're in the UK like me, you can get it on from Tarot by Pinky. I did a whole I've already done a video on this anyway, so if you want the links, they're on that video. I'll maybe link that video below as well. But this is just food based Oracle deck, and I bought it for a very special reason, which I've also mentioned in the other video. But I just really like it. I like the colours. It's got like a limited colour palette, which I really like. I like the keywords. The keywords are brilliant. And you also get a little bit of insight in the guidebook. There's not a lot in the guidebook. That was done on purpose, which again I've mentioned in the other video. But I like how the keywords have been thought out. So like ramen is patience because it takes a long time to make it properly. And yeah, there's just so many cards in here. I just think it's really cute. I've already done a full walkthrough. Sorry if you can hear that aeroplane. That was really loud. We get a lot of aeroplanes flying over here. But yeah, so I really like it, and I've done a full kind of flip through unboxing type video, so I'm not going to show loads, but these were the three decks that I had come in May. Okay, so now on to the decks that I worked with during May. Let's get some coffee. So as you know, if you follow my channel, if you saw my video, I did a tarot test drive, so like a deep dive into this deck. So I've used this a lot during May. This is probably my most used deck. So I'll just do another quick flick through some of the cards. So this is the Tarot to Carla Tides or Carla Teeds. And yeah, I've already talked a lot about this. It's got a lot of pop culture references. It's got a lot of like folklore, fairy tale, historical figures. There's lots of little Easter eggs in this deck. I really like all the floral aspects in all of the cards. Each suit kind of fits a kind of a theme. But yeah, so I've really enjoyed working with it. I've decided through my deep dive or my test drive that it's kind of a good all-rounder. I don't find it very intuitive, so I'm just kind of using Rider-Waite-Smith meanings when I read with it. But that's fine. Like I said before, I like Rider-Waite-Smith anyway, so that's not a problem. There are a few cards that I find spark some sort of intuition, but yeah, but as a general, it's just going to be a general deck for me. But I love it. I love it so much. What should I use that next? So I did 2 challenges on Instagram this month. I normally just do 1, but I did 2 challenges this month, and for one of them I used the Modern Witch, which I do use quite a lot. It's my kind of modern deck, my favourite modern deck. So I'm sure you've all seen this before. I'll just flick through some of the cards. So this is just a Rider-Waite-Smith kind of clone type deck, and it's just got more modern characters instead of the older fashioned ones. I used this for the Tarot Diagnosis Challenge during June. This card came up about 4 or 5 times. Yeah, the Tarot Diagnosis did a month-long challenge for Mental Health Awareness Month, and I use this deck. So I've got lots of pictures of these on my Instagram at the moment. So that was my first challenge. This is kind of my everyday tarot, my kind of just, if I can't be bothered to choose what tarot deck to use, I just grab this one, or a normal Rider-Waite-Smith, and I tend to use this one for when I don't really read for other people, but I do read for friends sometimes, and I tend to grab this one. My second challenge I did on Instagram. Oops, keep knocking the camera today. The second one I did, I didn't write down what the challenge was. Oh, yes I did. It was the Amazing 23 by Glitter by Ink on Instagram, and I used these. So this challenge was, it was like a number maze challenge, so you just could choose any numbers that you wanted, and you kind of can post whatever you want about with a prompt. They just give you a prompt which was a number, which were the numbers, but you could pick your own numbers. So I kind of used this I shuffled, and then whatever number corresponded, I pulled out all the minors associated with it, and then I also pulled the oracle card that had the same number, and then I did a bit of research on the numerology of that number. So I came up with keywords for the numerology, keywords for the tarot, keywords for the oracle, and then I kind of gave myself a reading based on that each day. And it came up with some really, really nice messages actually. Towards the end I was running out of numbers just by shuffling. I'd gone through all the cards, so I then rolled a dice and picked the rest of them that way. But I used the aquarium this is one of my favourite decks. I really want to find a full-size vintage copy of this. But I do really like this pocket one. This comes out with me. This is usually in my handbag all the time. So if I am out and have a tarot deck with me, it's usually this one. I've got a few other, I have got a few other tin decks, but I just find them so helpful being in a tin. They don't get ruined in your bag like a tuck box might. And I have so much crap in my bag all the time that I really appreciate that. So yeah, this one usually comes around with me everywhere. I'll end on the Queen of Wands because I love her. So I used the Aquarian Tarot. In fact, let me just show you what I did. So say I pulled the Lovers, so that's a 6. So I then went through and pulled all the other 6s. This might take a while. 6. And a 6. So I pulled out all the 6s, and what I did is I kind of laid out whichever card I pulled was the one I put at the top. I laid out the others underneath, and then I would get the 6 from this. Oh, it's not in order anymore. Let's see if I can find the 6 quickly. So then I would put the Oracle card kind of there, and that would be my picture that I would take to go on Instagram, and then I would put out all the keywords, or kind of the keywords that I felt like resonated, and then I made a reading out of it, including the numerology as well. So that was quite fun. It did take me quite a long time to do that challenge, but I enjoyed it, and I learned a lot about numerology. I'm always on the hunt for looking out for, or like learning new things to combine with tarot readings to kind of give them some more depth. So I didn't say what this was today. So it's the Oracle of the 7 Energies by Colette Baron Reid. I don't tend to feel drawn to a lot of her decks, or in fact any of the decks apart from this one. I bought it because I do chakra work sometimes, and although it's not specifically about the chakras, it kind of is based on them. So I got it for that. And I do actually find that it pairs weirdly well with quite a lot of my decks. So I have actually used it quite a lot, and I wasn't expecting to when I got it. I just wanted to see it, and I thought I'd end up rehoming it quite soon. But I do actually like it. But I don't really tend to feel drawn to a lot of Colette Baron Reid's decks. They're just not my kind of thing normally. And the artwork's not really my cup of tea either. But this is kind of the exception that proves that rule. The guidebook is really good, and the write-ups are good. They're just a bit, I don't know, they're just not my vibe. They're kind of a bit too new agey, I guess. And I do like some of that. Like I said, I do like some, but I don't like it if it's too much like that. Not the kind of readings I usually go for. But I did really like this, and it's just nice working with something different every now and then. And I have actually been enjoying using it, and it pairs with some random decks. It really does. It works really well with pretty much everything, even the ones that you wouldn't think it would. So yeah. Oh, and I edged it in rainbow colours for the different, so the 7 energies are all a different colour, and then I've shuffled them up. So they're in order when the deck's in order. So they're the decks I used for challenges this month. What is next? Oh, my daily pulls. Well, I did end up using the Tarot to Colour Tides, but before that, at the beginning of the month, I was using these. I've been I've been choosing decks to use for my daily pulls, like decks that I kind of want to get to know a bit better, or ones that I've tested and they work really well for those kind of daily, you know, you don't want to have to sit with a message for a week. You just want quick messages, and daily rituals is really good for that. I guess it would be with the name in there. And the friends one, I just thought these would go well together aesthetically, and they did. But I didn't end up using them for very long. I think it was only about a week or two of the challenge, not the challenge, of the month for my daily pulls, because then I switched over to Tarot de Colour Tides when I did my test drive. So yes, this is the Friends deck, which I mean I got it because I like Friends, but it does actually read quite well, and a lot of the cards do link. Like I feel like Joey for the Pentacles works really well, because so much of his story is about his career, or like the progression of his career. And Pentacles can be about work. It doesn't really work because there's 4 suits and 6 main characters. The 2 that they've kind of shoved together don't really work as much. So Ross and Rachel are the Wands. Wait, hang on a minute. Yeah, the Wands. And that doesn't really work for me because they weren't together for a, you know, they were apart longer than they were actually together in the show. And they've put them together in the suit of Wands. So some of the Rachel cards work quite well, but they don't, it just doesn't work as a suit overall. And the same with, I think it's the Swords, is Monica and Chandler. Yeah. And again, like they weren't together for the whole series, so it just doesn't feel very cohesive. But the Joey as Pentacles works well, and Phoebe as the Cups works really well. In fact, I think the Cups suit is my favourite in this. Like we've got Phoebe and Mike for the Two of Cups, and then there's Phoebe and David in some of the cups. I think it's the Six of Cups that has David in, and that works really well as like someone from your past coming back. And they have like kind of the characters that were kind of boyfriends or girlfriends throughout the series as the pages. So like here we've got Kathy as the Knight of Pentacles. I think Janice is in the Swords one. I don't know, there are some cards that just seem a bit weird, but overall I do like it. And I mean, I'm not really expecting much from a Friends deck, so it's fun. It's just a fun one to work with. If I want to like be cheered up, I'll use this because I grew up watching Friends. It's not one I'm going to do like really serious readings with, so I don't really mind. And then the daily rituals, I pull a card. I pulled a card every day, and then I pulled 1 or 2 of the Friends cards to go with it. I think I've shown this before as well, so I just really like the aesthetics of these cards. And again, this is just a nice gentle messages that you get, and kind of affirmations, which I really like. Just putting them in the morning, setting me up for my day. So I really like these as daily cards. I have used these for daily cards quite a few times now actually, and I know they work well. So they were the decks I used for daily cards for the beginning of the month anyway. And then what did I use after that? So I used the rest of them I had out. I didn't use a lot, but I have used throughout the month. I kind of pick the main decks I'm going to use each month, and then sometimes I don't really stick to them, and sometimes I do. So I used this a lot at the beginning of May because it still felt very seasonal. Spring, so I've used the Beltane Oracle, Yeah, I didn't say it. So it's the Seasons of the Witch Beltane Oracle. I really like the Seasons of the Witch decks. I've got all 3 that are currently available, and I do plan to get the others when they come out as well. I liked using them for kind of a monthly reading to get kind of energy for the month. I also, whenever I use these Seasons of the Witch decks, any of them, I use the spreads in the guidebook a lot, because they have so many really good spreads in the guidebooks, and I do tend to do all of them. I really like them. So yeah, so there's the book. So I kind of use this on its own, and I did all these spreads in here throughout the season. They have like a Beltane cross, a Celtic cross with a Beltane twist, Maypole spread, Flower Crown spread, Self-Worship spread, Goddess spread, Creation spread. I didn't do all of these, I did most of them though. I also used it for, like I said, my monthly reading for the energy, and then pulled tarot around it. And I did pull the odd card for my Instagram page, just these on its own. I used it on its own and with tarot. It's already chipping, this one. I haven't had it very long. I think I got it at the end of last year, or it might have been one of the ones I bought in January actually. So that was that one. This deck is a very random deck that I own. This is really old as well. I haven't seen anyone else use it. It was published in 1992 as US Games one. It's a circle deck, and it's just very, see, this is very new age, and I didn't think I was gonna like it, but it's another one that I like the mandalas, so I like the artwork, I like how simple they are, I like the colours. I got it out because they seem very spring colours to me. But it does baffle me, it does confuse me quite a lot. But I have actually been trying to use it this month, and I did a past, present, future reading with it. I've tested it out with different spreads and things, and it was actually quite good. I need to, the guidebook is very aimed at the kind of new age meaning for some of these cards. So I've kind of been reading it and then Googling this instead, so I can have a reading that kind of resonates more with me than the guidebook does. So like, it's got all of the zodiac signs. It does have some that are just like keywords, so like laughter, foundation, but then it has all the laws, so like law of karma, law of attraction, and then it has all of these universal healing, universal abundance, universal forgiveness. It's just got some weird, it's a bit weird, but I want to keep it, I want to use it. I just haven't worked out how I'm using it yet, but it kind of seems like it works better on its own. I did pair it, what did I pair it with? Oh no, that's for this month. I'm planning this month to pair it with the Enchanted Tarot and see how it goes with that. So I'll see. I'm not giving up on it yet, just because I like the simple, like mandala artwork. So that's basically the ones I used. I also did have out this one and the Zombie Tarot and the Kawaii Tarot, but I didn't end up really using them. I used this one a little bit on my Instagram account for, like on a Wednesday I have Oracle messages. I used it a couple of times for that, but I didn't use it for myself. I think I'm going to get it out again during the summer to do that, because I've got a couple of animal decks, and like I said before, I love animals, but just animal only decks I just don't tend to reach for as much. I need people, but as an oracle, I want to kind of maybe work with the animal energies, I guess, and see how it works. But the artwork in this deck is beautiful. I'm not going to get rid of this deck. And the reason I got this one as my animal deck, oh wait, I do have another one. I have the Kim Kranz one, Spirit Animal, I forgot what it's called. But I prefer the artwork on this. And the reason I got this one is it has a penguin in it, and penguins are my favourite animals. And I haven't really seen penguins. Oh yeah, I haven't seen penguins in a lot of animal decks before. So that's what sold me on it. And you've got the kind of elements, and you've got keywords to go with them. So like owl is sight, and this little kind of description. So you don't really need to use the book. The book has got more information in it, but you can kind of do an intuitive reading with this. Oh, this panther is gorgeous. So I do really like this deck. I just don't tend to pull cards from just animal decks, but I want to more. I'm going to do some stuff over the summer, maybe July or August, where I work more with my animal decks. And maybe also with the Wild Unknown Tarot as well. Maybe with that with the animal deck and this animal deck. Yeah, because I want to use them. I want to find a way to use them, because I don't really use any of those decks a lot, but I do want to. So stay tuned over the summer for that, if I end up doing it. But this one I do really like. You can get this from the, I think I got it from Nikki Strange's Etsy page. I think they both have an Etsy page. I think you can get it on Amazon now as well, actually. So that's the Spirit Animal Wisdom deck. Oops. So I didn't use it a lot, but I'm going to get it out again in the summer. I feel like I've rambled so much in this video. The last little bit that I was going to talk about was just what I'm planning to do next month. I'm not going to show anything. I'm going to use the dark wood a lot because I'm using it for my tarot test drive. So I'm going to find things to pair with it, and I feel like I'm going to have a shadow worky month this month because I'm using that. So I'm going to get some of my darker or shadowy oracles out and pair with that. So I'm going to get the Season of the Witch Samhain oracle out. I'm going to get what else have I got? The Alice the Wonderland oracle I'll get out because I use that a lot for shadow work. I might get Into the Lonely Woods out with it because it might go because they're both woods. So yeah, so I'm going to play around with the dark wood a lot and like pairings and things. I'm going to use my new decks that have come in, so I'm going to use the Enchanted Tarot and the Magical Morsels. I'm still doing an archetype study every month. I've gone on to a new one now, so I've got I need to film the video for my last card I used, and I'm working with another one now, so I'll still be using the Wild Unknown Archetypes deck. And yeah, and the rest I'll just kind of see as and when I feel cool to use them. I'm going to keep this one out and see how it works with the Enchanted Tarot. But yeah, I haven't really decided on all the other ones yet. Yeah, so I think that's about it. Sorry for rambling. If you've made it through this video, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I'm going to use my tarot tiles this month as well. That's the other thing I'm going to use. I'm going to use my tiles. But yeah, anyway, I feel like I've been going on for ages, so I'm just going to go now. So see you later. Bye.